We're gonna do this. We're gonna put the iPhone X up against the Pixel 2 XL. This video is guaranteed to piss off 50% of you. There won't be any cop-out, whatever is best for you. I'm going to declare a winner at the end. So the 5 categories we're using to determine a winner are design, camera, display, performance, and intangibles. Clearly, we could have done another 30 categories, but I didn't want this video to be 45 minutes, so I picked the 5 that I thought best sum up a phone and hit every aspect what the device can offer. So let's start with design. Every company's trying to make a rectangle look sexy, and Apple is no exception. Holding the iPhone X is like holding a screen, albeit with my hairline notch right at the top. People seem to be pretty split on the notch. It's not my favorite design feature, but overall I really like the way the phone looks. I like that the front is completely devoid of buttons. It is a beautiful looking device. The glass on the back makes the phone feel really nice and premium as well. I'm split though on how I feel about the banding on the sides. I like it on the space gray version. On the silver version, it looks shiny, prone to scratches, and makes it look cheap to my eye. The back is made of glass, and Apple claims it's the strongest glass ever on a device. And it may be, I don't want to test it, but it's a fingerprint magnet, so at least bear that in mind. The biggest design flaw of the iPhone X comes from the camera and the hump that comes with those two 12 megapixel sensors. You can't put it on a desk and use it without it wobbling back and forth. I understand why this still has such a big camera hump. I would easily settle for a thicker phone with a bigger battery and no camera hump. But if you use your phone on a desk and you're constantly typing or watching a video, that wobble is going to get really annoying. So next, let's jump over to the Pixel 2 XL. The two-tone design's not for everybody. I've got the black version here. I kind of dig the look. It's more of an industrial design. It is certainly not bezel-less, as a lot of companies are going nowadays, but the fact that it does have bezels on the top and bottom mean you get front-facing speakers. The phone has a very functional feel to it. I love the way the aluminum feels on the back. It's got that cold kind of feel to it. The fingerprint sensor's on the back, but they made the texture inside of the button the same as the texture on the back of the phone. I really like that aesthetic. Design of the Pixel 2 is relatively uninspiring, albeit extremely functional. On the camera hump side, it's got a teeny tiny one, but not nearly as egregious as what you get on the iPhone. So when it comes down to just design, looking at both of these phones, you can see clearly different design directions. The iPhone X rises far above when it comes to design. Design category goes to Apple. So next, let's jump to cameras, and both these devices have incredible camera setups, but let's start with the iPhone X. It's got two 12 megapixel sensors in the typical format you'd expect, a wide angle and a telephoto. It's almost an identical setup, actually, just different orientation than what you've got on the A+, except now both sensors have OIS built in. I was really impressed with the dynamic range, and I thought saturation really hit a sweet spot, and pictures came out looking really good overall in almost every scenario that I threw at it. On the video side, 4K at 60 frames per second was pretty nice, but while you are recording video, again, OIS, you can almost run with this thing and the video is going to look really stable. Portrait lighting, on the other hand, has been a completely mixed bag. In fact, I stopped using it completely because I couldn't rely on the results. Perhaps when it comes out of beta, it'll be a bit more useful, but if you have long hair, you can pretty much cross off really ever finding much of a use for it. All right, so onto the front. It's got a true depth sensor, enables all that stuff like Face ID, but it also enables portrait mode through its 7 megapixel sensor, which is awesome, at least in theory, for a front-facing camera. It looks really bad. Sometimes half of the background would be blurred, half wouldn't. It was completely inconsistent and all over the board. I expected much better from Apple. If you're taking just regular, non-portrait selfies though, they do look pretty decent. All right, so onto the Pixel. If you look at this just on paper, you'd think this would be a blowout from the iPhone standpoint. It's got two 12 megapixel sensors as opposed to just the one on the Pixel 2 XL, but fortunately, that is not the case. Damn, this is an incredible camera that Google's put into the Pixel 2 XL. The pictures in normal light looked incredible without being oversaturated. It really shined in low light, in direct sunlight, it was perfect. I couldn't find a scenario where this camera didn't take good pictures. On the video side, the 4K is capped at 30 frames per second. It did look good. Portrait mode is also here on the rear and the front, and it works incredible on the rear. It uses machine learning to sort of get better as you use it. All right, so it's a familiar story. Portrait mode looks good on the back, but what about the front? Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL is rocking an 8 megapixel sensor. Pictures coming out of the 8 megapixel sensor, especially on the portrait mode setting, look ridiculously good. And again, they've gotten better over time. When it comes to front-facing portrait, the Pixel spanks the iPhone X. The rear photos, that's really a coin toss which one you like. but the all-around package of cameras, Google did an incredible job here with the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL. It is definitely a win for Google. So next, let's jump over to arguably the most important part of the phone, the display, and this is essentially the OLED wars. Let's start with the iPhone. Apple's rarely first to move into a lot of new technologies, but when they move in that direction, they usually do it right, and OLED is no exception. They did a really good job with the screen on the iPhone 10. So the 5.8-inch OLED panel is extra tall. It's a little bit strange to hold at first. It's got an aspect ratio of 19.5 by 9. The PPI is not as high as what you get on the Pixel 2 XL. It's only 458, but the 2436 by 1125 resolution is plenty of pixels here. The screen does a great job balancing color saturation. There is some slight color shifting at off angles. A lot of people love the True Tone display. I mostly turned it off, but that's going to be a personal preference thing. HDR content looks really good due to the wide color gamut. I was able to see the screen in direct sunlight, which is a big worry that I had with OLED panels. Overall, it's a really well-balanced panel. It looks good, showing almost any content of any color. All right, so next let's jump into the Pixel 2 XL. And I do want to say that this review was filmed post the November update. So the display on the Pixel 2 XL is 6 inches at a more conventional 18 by 9 aspect ratio, really high PPI at 538, and it's 2880 by 1440. HDR content here is going to look good, same wide color gamut you've got on the iPhone 10, but there's a definite blue hue here to the device. Some people might like it. It really didn't sit well with my eye. The display looks good. I think it looks better post-update, but you compare the quality of the OLED panels on the XL versus on the iPhone, it is a clear win for Apple and the iPhone 10. Let's jump into performance. Both these phones are the current king of speed for the respective operating systems. The iPhone is an absolute screamer. The Pixel 2 XL is a beast. And everyday usage, both are really fast. So the only way that I could quantify speed was to go to the benchmarks. So the iPhone 10 is rocking A11 Bionic. That's got 2 high-powered cores and 4 low-powered cores, paired with 3 gigs of RAM, although Apple doesn't like to tell you how much RAM is in their phone. The Pixel is using the familiar Snapdragon 835 with 4 high-powered cores and 4 low-powered cores. And again, you look at paper and think benchmarks would tell the story. It clearly seems like the Pixel has more perceived power. But damn, the results here were surprising. So on Geekbench, the iPhone got a single core score of 4,334 and a multi-core score of 10,842. So keep that in mind when I tell you that the Pixel 2 XL got a single core score of 1,898 and a multi-core score of 6,356. So those are the benchmarks, and I get it, the benchmarks don't tell the full story. What matters is end user experience, and both end user experiences are really good, but I promise no cop-out. We gotta pick a winner, and looking at those numbers, it is staggering what Apple has done, at least with perceived lower power, at least lower RAM. They've done an awesome job optimizing the A11 Bionic. The iPhone 10 clearly takes this category. And for the last category, let's move to intangibles. Phones are becoming more and more alike. So this intangible category, I think, helps separate one device from another. The little things that make it shine and make it the best device for you. Let's start with the iPhone. So perhaps the biggest reason a lot of folks buy an iPhone is Apple's ecosystem. Things like iMessage and Apple Pay make it just really easy to use. You're also getting wireless charging, IP67 water and dust resistance. It's fast charge capable, CarPlay. You got the novelty of Face ID. You're getting pretty quick updates from Apple, and the device is crazy fast, as we saw from the benchmarks. All right, so the iPhone 10 brings a lot to the table. The Pixel 2 XL is clearly no slouch. You are getting really good speakers for a mobile device, way faster quick charging, a lower price of $849, and always on display, which I use quite a bit. You're getting the Google Assistant, which I prefer. You're getting the squeeze on the sides to access Google Assistant. You're getting Android Auto. You're getting Android Pay. No notch at the top. Again, IP67 water and dust resistance. And the last intangible, but definitely not least, the aluminum on the back makes this phone incredibly more durable. So you're looking at the intangibles, both phones have a lot to offer. But if I had to pick one based on the little things, I'm going Pixel 2 XL. It takes this round. So before we tally up a winner and perhaps to calm your rage, I want to thank our sponsors Sennheiser and their Ambio smart headset for making this video possible, especially in the intangible category. Both phones lost their headset jacks. You got to deal with either Lightning or USB-C, and these are an awesome option. So first, they do all the stuff you'd expect from a high-end pair of headphones. There's an app you can download, you can control different modes. Does a really good job with noise canceling, it's probably my favorite way to use it. You can also get some of the ambient noise piped in if you want to hear somebody talking to you. But perhaps the coolest thing is binaural audio, which is more commonly known as 3D audio. So when you plug these things into your phone and you're recording, when you play it back with the headphones in, you're going to hear them as they were when you recorded it. So you'll hear them out of the left ear or the right ear, depending on where they were located. It is an absolutely incredible way to listen back to audio. So right now, the Ambio smart headset takes advantage of the Lightning protocol in the iPhone, but there's an Android version that'll be coming later. It's gonna work with Apple's camera app, of course, the Apogee Meta Recorder, Filmic Pro voice memos, and with any other stereo audio recording app you could find. There's a microphone built into each earpiece, so it's plug and play right out of the box, but there is an app available to download to give you a lot more settings and customization options. So again, this is the Ambio smart headset. Thank you to Sennheiser for making this versus video possible. We'll link to it down below if you want to learn more. It's been a hard-fought battle. 50% of you are probably crazy pissed at me, but don't be pissed. If you picked up one of these two phones, you got an incredible device, but only one can reign supreme. So the winner by a total of 3-2 is the iPhone 10. It's been an incredible device. I love having a big screen with almost no bezels on an iPhone. I am getting one of the best phones I have ever used that is incredibly fast, powerful, and offers a lot of features I've been hoping Apple was going to offer, like quick charging and wireless charging are here. Finally, Apple has caught up to the best of Android and in a lot of ways has exceeded it. So what do you guys think? You probably already let me know in the comments. Do you agree with the iPhone 10 taking this battle? What do you want to see next for our versus? Leave in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up. We always appreciate it. And most importantly, don't forget to hit that little bell to get notified when new videos are coming. We got a few awesome verses lined up and you don't want to miss it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I'm John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo.